Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the situation report or the summary for the day of 839 for the 11th of June. Commander, do press the like button to launch the surface-to-air missiles. We have detected a drone flying over our airspace, so do. Oh, I'm not Ukrainian, so not this airspace. So, but DPA airspace. And anyway, we're going to start off with the frontline changes report. We have 4, as you can see over here. I removed my face because who knows? People don't want to subscribe because they don't like my face. Anyway, there is Timkovka, Stepova, Novoselivka, Novopokrovske, as well as Semenivka. So we're going to start off with Timkovka over at the Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, the Russian forces have claimed that they have captured Timkovka. So Timkovka is this location around here. You can't really see much over here. Basically, this is a claim to be captured by the Russian Defense Ministry, and Ryba have repeated this information. And based on Ryba's mapping, the pro-Russian source mapped it this way. So which means that the Russian forces have taken a huge chunk of this area here, probably due to Ukrainians giving up the position around here, as they probably are unable to hold this position. As you can see, it's pretty much in the salient, and particularly very hard to defend, as the Russian forces have made this progress in the northwestern part of Ivanivka. So as a result, this becomes a salient around here. So anyway, that's all for this area. Further south from this position, Russian forces geolocated along this tree line at Stepova Novoselivka, confirming that the Russians have basically taken this chunk of territory as they attack in the southwestern part of Ivanivka, which means that we are now looking at the pincer, as I've previously have reported and alluded to, that this is likely to be the situation after the Russians was geolocated to be advancing in this area here at Kaislivka. So now that the Russian forces that is around here waited, and now that this force around here have pretty much have arrived, we are probably going to see this pincer pretty soon. So let me turn off my Steam. So moving on, the next frontline change is over at Novopokrovske. So this is over at the Avdiivka front. This is Avdiivka city. This is Donetsk city, and at Novopokrovske, Russian forces have basically penetrated through the entire village, and of course also the northern part of the Novopokrovske, the settlement. And we are looking at pretty much a little bit left, just off the lake, and Novopokrovske will be officially captured by the Russian forces. The mapping is based on the mapping from the Ukrainian side. The Ukrainian Deep State UA, Ukrainian source, basically mapped this. So this is undoubtedly accurate, that the Russian forces have taken all this territory. And so Novopokrovske is about to fall. And the Ukrainian mapping also has disavowed this area here, which means that they have confirmed that the Russians have taken another tree line around here, getting closer to where the Russian claims are on the western part of Semenivka. So we are looking at another breakthrough. Looking like there's some kind of breakthrough around, especially over at Novopokrovske region towards Novoselivka, Persia. And these are the frontline changes report. And so Commander, do remember to press the like button. The drone is already flying overhead me with a grenade dangling below, looking like some balls. I don't like to be teabagged. Anyway, we're going to continue to the strategy and tactical reporting. First thing first, the Russian Defense Ministry have reported that Sukhoi 27 and the Sukhoi 25 was destroyed on the ground. And one of these was caught on footage over at Kaibire, at this airbase called the Dogin Seve. So probably I should put this as in Dogin Seve airbase. Yeah, because sometimes it's very easy to forget. So anyway, so this airbase have Sukhoi 25 getting destroyed by a Lancet. This is geolocated by Crimean Caprice, and then it was also repeated by the Russian Defense Ministry. I'm not sure if this is related to the previous one that we have reported before, I think just 2 days ago. So whatever it is, yeah, there is this geolocation of that. And we move on to the Kharkiv front. So over at the Kharkiv front, Russian forces are on the counter-offensive currently, pushing back the Ukrainians' gains. Over at the Lipsy sector, so this Lipsy, at the Lipsy sector, the Russian forces and Ukrainian forces are clashing at Klipoke. According to the Russian sources, the Ukrainians are currently attacking. However, according to the Russian Defense Ministry and the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, Russians are actually pushing. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces on the Ukrainian side of the front line, confirming Ukrainian presence around that region. So this geolocation of some shelling. So the Russian Defense Ministry mentioned about the attack of Ukrainians, while Ryba said that the Ukrainians actually counterattack. So we move on to the Voschan sector. At the Voschan sector, the situation here remains pretty similar as yesterday. We have an airstrike reported on Ukrainian forces at Voschan, whereas the Russians are now on the counterattack, pushing the Ukrainians. The Russians are also reportedly attacking Taikei, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. And as mentioned before, I have my doubts whether the Ukrainians are actually even here at all. I don't think so, because the lack of geolocation of airstrike and artillery strike in this region seem to be a bit suspicious, because the strikes and geolocations are all in the south of this river. For those that cannot see the river is here. So you can see this is the river here, over here. So this is the situation over at Voschan. And so we're going to continue on from the Kharkiv front. That's all from the Kharkiv front. The Russians are very successful in their pinning operation of the Ukrainian forces at this area. We move into Kharkiv front. At the not Kharkiv front, Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, as mentioned earlier in the frontline changes report, Russian forces have taken Timkovka, according to the Russian claims, and they are now pushing towards Stepova Novoselivka. There is shelling in the regions near Kupiansk. It's unclear. This is reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So this big arrow move is currently, getting a bit strong, and these changes in the front line clearly shows the impact. With the appearance of the Kharkiv front, the lack of ammunition. Clearly, the Ukrainians are getting new ammunitions and whatnot, but it seems that it's still insufficient to deal with the Russian forces. The geolocation of the Ukrainian forces here is some shelling, whereas the Russian geolocator here is an attack with armored vehicle towards this direction. So we are looking at the Russians already have this tree line. Now they are on the southern part. So we are going to see this pincer very, very soon. And with such an operation, the Ukrainians probably will not be able to hold a position. So we will continue to monitor. But on the south, it's a bit harder because we still have a large chunk of forest that will probably allow them to defend against the Russian push in the north. So I'm also expecting that the Russians will push through the forest as part of the operation. So moving away from that location, over at Svatove front, there is no reports of fighting. However, we have the reports of the capture of Myasozarivka, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. So we currently do not have much information about this capture. So we previously, Russian Defense Ministry already mentioned about this once. Let me see. This is based on November, last year's report that they said that they have, where is this? Artemivka, which is the other name for Myasozarivka. They say that the Ukrainians attacked Russian positions at Artemivka, which is Myasozarivka, which is why there was a question mark over here. So there is a possible control of the Russians over here. But now we have the firm confirmation that they have captured Myasozarivka. So it's interesting that the name changed. So this is Artyomovka now. So this is Myasozarivka. So whatever it is, the Russians have taken this position. So that's all from the Svatove front. At the Kremlin front, we have no reports of the fighting around this area. This is because the Ukrainians did not post any reports over the past 24 hours. So we only have the Ukrainian Russian sources as well as the Russian Defense Ministry as well as the geolocations. So the Russian forces attacking Nevsky, and that's about it. That's all we know of the criminal front. At the civil front, we have Russian forces attacking Rozdolivka. So that's all we know. The Ukrainians, when the Ukrainians are reporting, they tend to have a lot more locations, and there is some geolocation of civils getting airstrikes. One of them was a rather spectacular 1,500 kilogram strike at a civil city, one big building. One of these big building, I think the front building in front of the big building was there's one massive explosion, so it's quite ridiculous. I shared it on Twitter though. Over at the Bakhmut front, we literally have no reports at all about the fighting in the central part of the Bakhmut front. We only have some reports of the Russian operation over Andriivka as well as Ozyarenivka. Reports coming from the Russian Defense Ministry, and in the same report, they also mentioned about some shelling of Ukrainian forces over at Konstantinivka. Over at the New York front, Russian forces attack at Mayorsk as well as Alexandropil. Generally, the fighting around here, I will not pay much heed or attention because this is generally very strategically not important region. Over at the Avdiivka front, and as mentioned, it's basically all in the center part. So the Russian forces are attacking Sokil, they're attacking Novopokrovske, they are nearing capture of it, they're attacking west of Semenivka, as well as in the area of Umansky. So some geolocation of Ukrainian forces in the area of Novoselivka, Persia, confirming Ukrainian presence around here. So, but it looks really terrible. You can see this arrow, these three directions, all heading towards Novoselivka, Persia. So we are looking at some bad things going to happen to the Ukrainian side on very, very soon. There's also a Ukrainian tank getting destroyed in the rear position. In the rear. So that's about it with over at the Avdiivka front. Over at the Donetsk front, as we don't have much as well because like I said, Ukrainians don't report. We have a lot of lesser information. There's fighting reported in the direction of Vodian. There's no other reports around here, and I think we have some report. Oh yeah, we have the Russian Defense Ministry reported about taking some more grounds around Uruzhany, but we have no mapping to back it up. So Ukrainian forces geolocated just west of Boyeda, and that's about it. There's another one geolocation at the northwest of Krasnohorivka. Not important. All these are not very important. So that's about it in the Donetsk front. Over at the Zaporizhia front. At the Zaporizhia front, there is still fighting reported at the Kayamsky and Orikhiv sector. So in this area here, Russian forces attack in the area of Nesteryanka as well as Kayamsky. So that's about it in this area here. Nesteryanka one, this area here would be a bit more serious because previously we have already some advance of front line in the north of Merne. So I think the attack in this area here would be a bit serious as they move towards Novoandriivka. And Kayamsky one is probably just fire attack. I don't think the Russians have any interest to go north of the river or the sea. Yeah, I think it's river. Yeah, you can see there's a river around here. So I don't think the Russians are interested to move north. And moving into the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, Russian forces shout Tyahinka. There's a geolocation of a radar system getting hit by a Lancet. This is pretty far away from the Russian territory, around 40-50 kilometers. As you can see, the Russians are hunting for all the targets. And the fact that they are hunting this far away shows there's a severe lack of targets for them to hit in the Kherson front. And that's about it. So yeah, a very, very slim and not fatty situation report over the past 24 hours. So do press the like button, subscribe, and yeah, take out that drone on top of me. It's teabagging me right now. So press the like button, take it down, and for those that want to join the DPA army, do press the subscribe button to join as the fully honored, heavily medaled cannon folders. We will give out a lot of purple hearts. For sure, you will get a medal somehow, and I'll see you guys in the next update.